Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's 2025, and managing money is more complex than ever. We're seeing inflation still making things pricey. AI is literally reshaping the job market as we speak. And honestly, if your finances aren't future-proofed, you're not just treading water, you're actually falling behind. It's a tough environment out there, and the old rules, they're not cutting it anymore. You need a new playbook, a fresh strategy to navigate these choppy financial waters and come out on top. Sticking your head in the sand is not an option if you're serious about your financial future. So, in this video, I'm cutting through all the noise and giving you the top 5 personal finance tips you absolutely need this year. These aren't just generic suggestions. These are actionable strategies designed to help you stay ahead of the curve, actively grow your money, and build real sustainable wealth. And we're talking about doing it fast. We're going to cover everything from making your money work for you while you sleep, to rethinking your budget for today's economy, and ensuring you're not leaving free money on the table. This is about making smart moves now that will pay off big time down the line. If you're tired of feeling stressed about money, if you're ready to take control and actually see your net worth climb, then do me a quick favor and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really helps the channel out. Let's get you on the path to financial freedom. Alright, enough talk, let's dive right in. Alright, first up, and this one is an absolute game changer, guys. Automate. Freaking everything. I cannot stress this enough. In 2025, if you're still manually moving money around for bills, savings, and investments, you're creating unnecessary work and, more importantly, unnecessary stress for yourself. Think about it. Your paycheck hits your account, and then what? You have to remember to pay the rent, the utilities, the car payment, then decide how much to save, then log into your brokerage. It's a recipe for missed payments, or worse, missed opportunities to grow your wealth. Automation is your best friend here. The beauty of automation is that it takes the emotion and the effort out of managing your money. Set it up once, and then let the system do the heavy lifting. The very first thing you should automate is your paycheck split. As soon as that direct deposit lands, have your bank automatically siphon off portions to different accounts. A certain percentage or fixed amount should go directly to your bill payment account, another chunk straight into your high-yield savings account, and crucially, a designated amount directly into your investment accounts. This way, you're paying yourself first every single time without even thinking about it. There are so many incredible apps out there now that make this ridiculously easy. Tools like YNAB, You Need a Budget, Rocket Money, or Monarch Money are fantastic for tracking your spending and helping you see where your money is going. But many also offer features to help you manage bill payments and savings goals. These apps connect to your bank accounts and credit cards, giving you a clear overview and often allowing you to set up rules for how your money is allocated. Seriously, spend an afternoon setting one of these up, and it will pay dividends in time saved and peace of mind. Then let's talk about automating your investments, because this is where the real wealth building magic happens. Whether you're using a platform like Fidelity, M1 Finance, or simply contributing to your employer-sponsored 401k or 403b, set up recurring investments. Decide how much you can comfortably invest each pay period, even if it's just $50 or $100 to start, and automate that transfer. Don't wait until the end of the month to see what's left over, because often there won't be much. Make investing a non-negotiable automated part of your financial routine. Think about the power of this set it and forget it approach. You're essentially building discipline into your financial system. You're removing the temptation to spend that money elsewhere because it's already been allocated and moved before you even have a chance to miss it. This consistency is key, especially with investing, as it allows you to take advantage of dollar cost averaging, which we'll talk more about later. But the core principle here is making your financial progress inevitable, not accidental. Consider the mental energy you save. No more Sunday nights stressing about which bills are due or whether you remembered to transfer money to savings. It's all handled. Okay, let's move on to tip number 2, and this one is crucial given the economic climate, the new budget rule. For years, we've heard about the 50/30/20 rule, 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings. And look, it was a decent guideline for a different time. But with inflation doing what it's been doing, and the cost of essentials like housing, food, and transportation going up significantly, that 50% for needs often just doesn't cut it anymore for a lot of people. It's time for an update. The reality of 2025 is that needs are simply taking up a bigger slice of the pie for most households. Trying to force your finances into an outdated model can lead to frustration and feeling like you're constantly failing at budgeting. So, we need to adjust our framework. I'm seeing more and more financial experts, myself included, recommending new ratios like 60/20/20 or even 55/25/20. This means allocating a larger portion, say 55% or 60%, to your essential needs. This isn't about giving up. It's about being realistic. Your needs category covers things like rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, transportation to work, insurance, and minimum debt payments. These are the non-negotiables, the things you absolutely have to pay to keep your life running. By acknowledging that these might require a larger percentage of your income now, you can create a budget that actually works and doesn't leave you feeling squeezed every month. The next part of this revised rule is still prioritizing savings and investments. So, in a 60/20/20 model, after your 60% for needs, the next 20% goes directly to savings and investments. This is critical. Even with increased costs, you cannot afford to neglect your future self. This 20% should cover contributions to your emergency fund, retirement accounts like a Roth IRA or 401k, and any other investment goals you have. This portion is non-negotiable for wealth building. Then, the final 20%, in the 60/20/20 model, or 25%, in a 55/25/20 model, is allocated to your wants. This includes things like dining out, entertainment, hobbies, travel, and any non-essential shopping. Yes, this slice might be a bit smaller than the traditional 30% for wants, and that's a direct reflection of the current economic pressures. It requires being more intentional and perhaps making some trade-offs in your discretionary spending, but it ensures your essentials are covered and your savings goals are met. The key here is to use digital budgeting apps for clarity. Chapter 3. Invest consistently. The slow burn to big bucks. Alright, tip number 3 is where we start talking about serious wealth generation. Invest consistently. If you're not investing, you're essentially leaving money on the table and missing out on the power of compounding. Saving cash is important for emergencies, but cash alone won't make you wealthy, especially with inflation eating away at its value. Investing is how you grow your money significantly over the long term. And the key word here is, one of the best strategies for consistent investing, especially for beginners or those wary of market volatility, is dollar cost averaging, DCA. This simply means investing a fixed amount of money at regular intervals, regardless of what the market is doing. So instead of trying to time the market, which is nearly impossible, even for pros, you might invest $200 every month or $50 every week. Sometimes you'll buy when prices are high, sometimes when they're low, but over time, it averages out. The beauty of dollar cost averaging is that it reduces risk and takes emotion out of the equation. When the market dips, your fixed investment amount buys more shares. When the market is up, it buys fewer shares. This systematic approach helps you avoid the common pitfalls of fear-based selling during downturns or greed-driven buying at market peaks. It's a disciplined way to build your portfolio steadily over time, and it's perfect for long-term investors. So, where should you be investing this money consistently? For most people, especially if you're looking for a relatively hands-off approach, low-fee index funds or ETFs, exchange-traded funds, are an excellent choice. Think about funds like VTI, which tracks the total U.S. stock market, or SPY, which tracks the S&P 500, the 500 largest U.S. companies. These funds offer instant diversification because you're buying a small piece of many different companies, which spreads out your risk. And the low-fee part is crucial. High fees can significantly eat into your investment returns over time. Index funds typically have very low expense ratios compared to actively managed funds, where a fund manager is trying to pick winning stocks. History has shown that, over the long run, most actively managed funds fail to beat their benchmark index. So why pay extra for underperformance? Stick with low-cost, broad market index funds for the core of your portfolio. Now, let's talk about the best accounts to use for this consistent investing. Tax-advantaged retirement accounts like a Roth IRA or a traditional 401k, if your employer offers one, are fantastic vehicles. With a Roth IRA, you invest post-tax money and then all your qualified withdrawals in retirement are completely tax-free. That's huge! With a 401k, you might get an employer match, which is literally free money, and your contributions can be pre-tax, lowering your current taxable income. The key, again, is to automate these contributions. We talked about automation in tip number 1, and it's just as critical here. Set up automatic transfers from your bank account to your Roth IRA each month. If you have a 401k, ensure you're contributing a set percentage of your paycheck automatically. This out-of-sight, out-of-mind approach ensures you're consistently building your nest egg without having to think about it. Let me give you a powerful example, and this is a quote to remember. Investing $200 a month for 20 years equals over $100,000, even with average returns. Chapter 4. Boost your credit score smartly. Unlock cheaper money. Alright, let's shift gears to tip number 4, something that can save you a ton of money in the long run. Boost your credit score smartly. Your credit score is like your financial report card, and lenders use it to decide whether to give you a loan and, crucially, at what interest rate. A good credit score can unlock lower interest rates on mortgages, car loans, and even credit cards, potentially saving you thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars over the life of those loans. One of the biggest factors influencing your credit score is your credit utilization ratio. This is the amount of credit you're using compared to your total available credit. You want to keep this number low. The general rule of thumb is to keep your utilization under 30% on each card and overall. So, if you have a credit card with a $10,000 limit, you ideally want to keep your balance below $3,000. But honestly, under 10% is even better if you can manage it. High utilization signals to lenders that you might be overextended. A smart tactic here is to pay off your credit card balances, or at least pay them down significantly your statement closing date. Most credit card companies report your balance to the credit bureaus once a month, usually on or around your statement date. So even if you pay your bill in full by the due date, if you had a high balance on the statement date, that's what gets reported. By paying it down the statement closes, you ensure a lower utilization ratio is reported, which can quickly boost your score. Make use of free credit monitoring services like Credit Karma or the official Experian app. These tools not only show you your credit score, or at least a good estimate like Vantage Score from Credit Karma, but also break down the factors affecting it. They can alert you to new accounts opened in your name, changes in your utilization, or late payments. Regularly checking your credit report also helps you spot any errors or fraudulent activity that could be dragging your score down. Another proactive step you can take is to request credit limit increases on your existing credit cards, assuming you can handle the responsibility. If your income has gone up or you've been a good customer for a while, call your credit card company and ask for a higher limit. If they approve it, and you keep your spending the same, your credit utilization ratio will automatically decrease because your total available credit has increased. This can give your score a nice little bump. Chapter 5. Stop lifestyle creep. Keep more, grow faster. Our fifth and final tip for dominating your finances in 2025 is a big one, and it's all about mindset and discipline. Stop lifestyle creep. This is that sneaky phenomenon where, as your income increases, your spending mysteriously increases right along with it. You get a raise, a bonus, or a new higher-paying job, and suddenly you need a nicer car, a bigger apartment, more expensive clothes, or fancier dinners out. Before you know it, you're still living paycheck to paycheck just at a higher income level. The absolute key to combating lifestyle creep is this. When you get a raise or a financial windfall, make a conscious decision to save or invest the majority of that extra money. It gets absorbed into your regular spending. If you get a $500 a month raise, don't immediately start looking for ways to spend an extra $500 a month. Instead, pretend that raise never happened for your spending budget and direct that additional $500 straight into your investment account or towards an aggressive savings goal. The goal is to keep your core expenses relatively steady, even as your income grows. This creates what I call a wealth gap, the difference between what you earn and what you spend. The wider this gap, the more money you have available to save, invest, and build real wealth. If your expenses rise in lockstep with your income, that gap stays narrow, and your ability to accelerate your wealth accumulation is severely hampered. You're working harder, earning more, but not necessarily getting richer. One of the most effective ways to identify and combat lifestyle creep is to meticulously track your spending habits, especially after an income increase. Use those budgeting apps we talked about, YNAB, Rocket Money, etc., to see exactly where your money is going. Are you spending more on discretionary items than you used to? Are new recurring expenses popping up that weren't there before? Awareness is the first step to making a change. A significant part of lifestyle creep is often tied to emotional spending or keeping up with the Joneses. You see your friends or colleagues upgrading their lifestyles, and you feel pressure to do the same. Or maybe you use spending as a way to reward yourself or cope with stress. It's crucial to identify these triggers and find healthier, less expensive ways to manage those emotions or desires. True financial freedom comes from being content with what you have, not constantly chasing more material possessions. Here's a powerful truth to internalize. Wealth is built not by earning more, but by keeping more. You can earn a massive income, but if you spend it all, you're not building wealth. Conversely, someone with a more modest income who consistently saves and invests a significant portion of it can build substantial wealth over time. It's about your savings rate, your discipline, and your ability to delay gratification. Chapter 6. Your 2025 Money Action Plan. All right, there you have it. You now have 5 powerful tips to take control of your money in 2025. We've covered automating your finances to reduce stress, adopting a new budget rule that reflects today's economy, the critical importance of investing consistently, smart strategies to boost your credit score, and the absolute necessity of stopping lifestyle creep in its tracks. These aren't just theories. These are actionable steps you can start implementing today to see real change in your financial life. Which one of these tips hit hardest for you? Was it the wake-up call about lifestyle creep? Or maybe the realization of how much automation could simplify your life? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop it in the comments below. Let me know which tip you're going to focus on first. Sharing your goals can be a great way to stay accountable, and I always enjoy reading your feedback and seeing what resonates most with you all. And hey, if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and definitely hit that notification bell. I've got even more money tips, investing strategies, and wealth-building insights coming your way every single week, all designed to help you stop living paycheck to paycheck and start building real, lasting wealth. Thanks for watching, and remember, small moves today lead to big money tomorrow.